Hi, friends and new friends out there in Dash Nation. I'm Christopher Carruthers, also known as Tao of Satoshi, and you're watching Cash Alternative TV. In Dash's Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or DAO for short, there's been a focus on regional outreach initiatives. Dash is a better money, and using it could lead to a better future for people in developing countries. Dash has teams on the street in Africa, Europe, and Latin America. Adoption in Spanish-speaking countries like Venezuela or Colombia tend to dominate headlines and attention, but there's a strong adoption effort in Asian countries as well. In this episode, I will interview Sascha Jochum of Dash Thailand and Felix Mago of Dash Next about their efforts to integrate this better money into companies and organizations in their region. Please enjoy. Welcome to Cash Alternative TV. I'm Christopher Carruthers, also known as Tao of Satoshi. And with me today, I have the co-founders of Dash Thailand and Dash Next. I have Sascha Jochum and Felix Mago. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. A pleasure.
All right. So for the people, my viewers that might not know who you are, I'll start with Felix. Can you give yourself a brief introduction of who you are and how you got into cryptocurrency and Dash?
Yeah, of course. Happy to do that. So I'm Felix. I worked as a consultant for so many years, and it was like, I think 2013 when I heard the first time about Bitcoin. I was blogging at that time, and we didn't know how to buy that stuff. It seemed also crazy and very complicated. Nobody could help you. It was not like you can Google and find a lot of videos. So we started off writing a book on how to buy Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is. And since then, obviously, like everyone, I fell into the rabbit hole. So we did a lot of different things. I worked as an innovation consultant in Germany and really helping corporations to understand blockchain, especially on a monetization and business perspective. And in 2017, I think I met the guys from Dash Embassy in Berlin and was quite fascinated how all this stuff works and what they are doing. So we fell into another rabbit hole called DAO and Dash DAO and kicked it off in 2018. And since then, yeah, it's growing very well. So I'm very happy to be with you all, guys.
Yeah, I had those guys on the show last year. They seem to be very hardworking guys, getting the word of Dash out in those German-speaking countries. Did you know them before that or no?
I met them in Berlin. I mean, it's blockchain ecosystem, right? It's all about, and this is where we probably talk about later. It's all about leveraging contacts and leveraging network. I mean, this is probably the reason why this scene moves so crazy fast compared to all the corporate world. And yeah, I mean, we met at some meetups and we met again, and then we started talking, and one thing came to another.
Perfect. So we're happy to have you here in Dash Nation. What about you, Sascha? What's your story?
Yeah, a little bit similar. I mean, I have also a consultancy background. I was back in Germany more focused on startup consultancy and worked together with like a big bank in Germany. And we consulted startups, and yeah, like I got privately involved in cryptocurrencies and always looked like, how can I do it full time? And yeah, as Felix already explained, he met the guys from the Dash Embassy Dach, thanks to you guys. They explained us a little bit how it works, and we've been all totally fascinated by it. And yeah, we kicked it off, as Felix said, like 2018. It's now a little bit more than 1 year, but it feels actually like 10 years already. I always have the feeling like working with Dash or working crypto is like living dog years. So 1 year feels like 7 at least. So
absolutely, it's a fast-moving space. You're right about that.
Yeah, it's sometimes crazy when I think back. So it feels like I never did anything else. But yeah, no, and yeah, we are very happy. So about the results, I mean, it's still like at the beginning everything, and but on the other side it's a blue ocean of opportunities, and we really try to be open and try to collaborate and partner with as many third parties, because we think like Dash has so many potentials on so many verticals. And yeah, so try to get the word out, and like, yeah, getting Dash integrated and let people know about it. Yeah.
Okay, so Felix, there's going to be like a lot of people out there that might not realize that we haven't even any presence in Asia in Dash. So you guys are working very hard out there. So I want to shine the light on what you guys are doing. Can you give an introduction to what exactly Dash Next is and what you guys are accomplishing in Asia?
Mm-hmm. You mentioned already it's Dash Thailand and Dash Next. Maybe it's a good thing to start with Dash Thailand because that was the project we kicked off, right? I mean, when we started here in Asia, we realized it's a fascinating market. If you just look at the plain numbers, it's probably the fastest growing market for non-cash payments. I mean, if you really are here and look at those shops, they are full of QR code stickers, Alipay, WeChat Pay, it's all everywhere. They have like so many payment solutions.
Right.
And really people are just used to, you know, not even use credit cards, they just use QR codes. So I feel like coming from old world Europe, where you need 3 days for a bank transfer, you come here, it's super fast. You even can like get the money by sending a message from your telephone to the ATM machine, and you get your money out. So things are really crazy and moving fast here. So we thought like it's a fascinating market. Dash should definitely have a presence here. And I mean, we found this team here in Asia, had a company to run it on. And we realized there is no crypto payment system. So we obviously attacked the low-hanging fruit, which was checking out the Bitcoin map and the Bitcoin merchant stores. And we went to every single one of them and just realized like none of them really accepted Bitcoin because it was just a sticker on the door. Everybody obviously forgot about it, probably like in the hype of 2017. Somebody said, yeah, I accept Bitcoin now, and then nothing happened, right? So we actually realized there is no crypto payment system, and this is why we went out really grassroots driven. That was the like step one, phase one, in creating this merchant ecosystem. And you know, like coming also from that consulting background, we realized it's very important to have running use cases and stories you can tell, stories you can go out to and make people realize. And having now this use case or this ecosystem in Thailand, which is something between 50 and 100 merchants, like growing a little bit, and we even want to limit it to not grow that fast, right? So to have like a not such a support intensive and people intensive thing to run. We have now this ecosystem, and now we realized, hey, actually it's about really scaling Dash with the partnerships. I mean, we have Discover Dash and you know the merchant list, it's beautiful, but to be honest, we don't only have like thousands of merchants, essentially we have millions of merchants if we look at our partners. So this is what we realized and say, hey, we are in Asia, we can leverage again those local networks here at the conferences. All the payment companies, all the crypto companies are here, even other companies who are interested in being connected. So this is why we started Dash Next as a scalable partnership and business development proposal. And this is why now we're really running around Asia. I mean, I'm kind of living in the plane for the last couple of months because I'm so much invited to different conferences. And really, this is where we now get like a really full pipeline of integration, many of them right now in the process. And obviously also, you know how integration works, right? You work with partners. Sometimes you're very happy if they manage it in 3 days. But that's not the rule. That's rather the exception. So sometimes it needs a long time, you know, to do those integrations. So this is why it's important to go around, to leverage these networks, to be present, to show presence, and to get partners done and to get integrations done, because then once in a while they will come up. And I'm actually very happy that we kind of, I mean, every month produce very nice results, I believe.
Okay, that's a good point you brought up at the beginning, Felix, about our increased competition in Asia. That was something that I never considered before. I know that our main competition is fiat, and other competitions are remittances networks such as Western Union. But I never considered that companies like Alipay and WeChat and stuff like that are definitely competitors in Asia because they have a fast user experience too. And I could see why Bitcoin wouldn't be accepted over there, because the Bitcoin experience is very slow. Whereas in Dash, we've discovered a way to make it faster, and we could definitely compete with those faster networks.
Absolutely. I mean, what I didn't mention, you know, it's also the first phase with Dash Thailand was really very much design research driven, right? Also, like this is again like the consulting background, which always comes in. I mean, you have to listen to people, right? And if you visit 100, 200, 300 shops, and we really did that, and you listen to the people, you realize that the things they mentioned and the worries they mentioned, they will be repeated, right? And one of them is like saying, hey, this is a volatile asset, how can I run my business with it? The second one will be, do I have to put any investment, right? The investment part, obviously, because we have free to use solutions, is done. It's not a problem, and we can explain that very easy. But for the fiat part, obviously, we are very happy if the merchant says, hey, I'm willing to accept crypto and I love it, I'm a fan of it, right? But this is, again, not the rule, rather the exception for now. So this is why you have to bring in end-to-end solutions where you say, hey, you can accept cryptocurrencies. And the reason why you should do it is because it's cool, obviously, because we're crypto nerds and we love it, yes. But for most of the merchants we talk to, it's saying, hey, we can get additional business. So I mean, look at the restaurant market, it's highly competitive. I mean, Bangkok is full of restaurants, so you always need some new angles to do marketing to be different from others. And this is essentially what works very good. And this is the story we adopted by doing like this design research phase at the beginning. You know, and that's why always you have to adopt your sales approach.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to take your advice, Felix. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'll talk to Sascha about how Dash Thailand got established and what his experiences were like in the DAO coming into it. So Sascha, I assume Dash Thailand was your idea, talking with the guys from Dash Embassy Deck, correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, it was our idea. I mean, we talked with the guys in Dach, and I mean, like, they've been the first embassy founders in the DAO, I guess. I'm not actually sure. So
yes, that's right.
Actually, before we started, I think it was a preparation time of many months, like I would say maybe half a year, where we had like constant calls with them and like exchanged ideas and fine-tuned our proposal and our strategy, and like and also, like, I mean, didn't been much involved in the DAO before. Like, even somehow Discord was new for some of our members, because I also have to mention it's not only Felix and me. I mean, like, usually we are the faces, Felix even more than I am, because Felix is also traveling for Dash around Asia or even beyond. Felix was like in Korea, Moscow, Malta in the last couple of weeks. So, but yeah, there are more people. So we discussed and exchanged with the Dach team. And then, yeah, we finally said, okay, let's do that. And also at the beginning, we thought about, I think actually more or less Dash Next was more our first idea, or let's say something like Dash Asia was our first idea. But then we thought, okay, let's start small. We had a company already in Thailand, registered company limited. So it's easy. We don't need a first investment from the DAO to even found a company to be able to do something. No, we can kick off straight away. And our company financed actually a lot of things, which we didn't need to get from the Dash treasury, and that was very nice. So we could kick off directly, and yeah.
Okay, so for the viewers out there that might be potential contractors for the Dash DAO, we do have an interesting budget system where money is available to you. If you have any ideas on how to improve Dash, you can submit your proposal to the Dash network, and the master nodes will vote. And if they like your idea, they approve it, you get the funding, and you can help us out here in Dash Nation. So that's exactly what Dash Thailand and Dash Next did. Sascha, can you go through a little bit of your initial experience on dealing with the Dash DAO and how you submitted your proposal?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, like, now when I look back, I thought, okay, what I worried about, or what been my problems back then? But it took a little bit time. So we researched what other proposals do, like how they structure it, which proposals are successful or not. Like some ideas we took from other proposals. Some we said, maybe we could do that in some other ways. So it needed a little bit time, but then we put our first proposal online in August, September 2018. 2018, and so the first proposal passed, and we've been very happy, and got, I think, one time didn't got voted in as the price dropped, and a lot of proposals been in, and I mean, like, fair enough, but we kept on working even in that month, and since then we got voted in again and feel really like part of the whole Dash family.
Awesome.
To add on that one sentence, I mean, what we really did was also starting before we did a proposal, right? We started like meetup series and creating the community here, and creating trust, like, in the DAO, right? Showing what we did before we put the proposals. I think this is, like, for everybody who's trying to do it, it's wise to show your face before you ask for money, right? Because obviously, why should people trust you if they don't know you? And it totally makes sense. This is why it's probably clever to do something like that.
There's some cases where we shouldn't trust you even if we do know you, but that's beside the point.
Can we cut that? No.
Hey, I didn't mention any specifics. We're good. I'll let the imagination wander on that one. Okay. So what was the initial focus of Dash Thailand when you first got approved for funding?
I mean, the first focus been really building up a merchant network. I mean, we always had the two ideas and the two hearts, like one being very local, being seen, building like very quick ecosystem, a working one, yeah, which we can show then. I mean, if you start if we would start with Dash Next, okay, it's nice. We have exchange integration here and there, but people cannot really experience that close, and so that's why we focus at the beginning on Dash Thailand, getting merchants, doing events, tell people, because there was nothing obviously in Thailand first. A lot of people know Dash, but not so many. So we did events like with keynotes, and we had a lot of people at the beginning, and also like had people from the Dash network visiting us from all over the world. And it was really interesting to see even some master nodes came over, and they've been so happy. They did their first Dash transaction ever at the Dash merchant then in Thailand, and it was also nice for us. So so we started with that, because we believe you have to be local to get global, because like that little showcase, because Bangkok, I mean, Bangkok is full of digital nomads, kind of crypto travelers as well, tourists in general. Like it's so we got approached from so many people, because people came to Thailand, saw all the Dash stickers, and they came to us. And then, you know, we could start building up a network and getting contacts also then for Dash Next, to really like bring the idea of Thailand to other countries, not only in Asia. I mean, like the sky is the limit, I would say. So, but we meet mainly the people in Asia, because like we have now in December, there is the blockchain week here. So we have so many conferences, so many events. And yeah, people like to come to Thailand, I have to say. So we meet really people from all over the world, and they see us on the stage. They go to the merchants, spend crypto, and like, so we can connect with the people and then build up on that.
Okay,
and it's
so
a big Thai community. So if you look at the numbers, so in terms of traders, it's crazy here. So I just saw the statistics saying around 12 to 15%, something in between, are crypto holders in Thailand. So that's an international comparison, very, very high.
Wow, interesting. So I guess you could say the relationship between Dash Thailand and Dash Next, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, is Dash Thailand is more focused on local businesses, whereas Dash Next is more of a business development, trying to go for the business angle. Is that right?
Correct. Plus partnership, plus community is also Dash Next, obviously.
Excellent.
Because I mean, we go to conferences, we put the logo everywhere. We try to make like very good deals that I'm invited there to get like a lot of keynotes, and this is why I would say like we're trying to build also communities out of Thailand.
Yeah, I heard you're very famous. We'll get into that later. You're winning awards for Dash. It's great, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So Sascha, how many merchants do you think are in Thailand right now, in Bangkok or all over the country, I guess, that would accept Dash right now?
Yeah, as Felix said already before, I mean, we never wanted to get like thousands of merchants in a door-to-door approach. So we wanted to have really like a small and healthy ecosystem. And at the moment, like we have 50 to 100 merchants, like mainly in Bangkok, yeah, because we think that's where the most people come, like the most crypto business people, digital nomads. And yeah, sure, we want to get here and there some more merchants, but we want to really focus on the consumer activation as well. Felix mentioned our experience with the Bitcoin map at the beginning. So we saw that Bitcoin map, yeah, we went to that Bitcoin merchants, but like when we asked the staff, oh, can we pay with Bitcoin? Yeah, they didn't even know what Bitcoin is. So, and we wanted to avoid that experience happening with Dash, because like, I mean, if you would travel to Thailand, go to the merchants on any map, yeah, want to pay with Dash, and they don't know what is Dash, that doesn't help anyone. Then probably you will be very disappointed. Maybe don't want to shop on Dash anymore. I mean, like we can just imagine what people think. Yeah. So that's why we want to keep it as a small ecosystem. And I mean, like, it's not scalable. What we want to do, it cannot be a strategy of Dash to go from door to door all over the world. Like we cannot handle that. And then, I mean, like if we have like thousands of merchants and no one go there, that's not the right approach. That's what we thought. Like that's why we want to keep it small and healthy and working. And also, I would say, I mean, we started with Dash Thailand, and most people also, I think, in the community, know us as Dash Thailand, but that's not our main focus anymore. I mean, we got like, we hire Thai people, so we have a pretty big team now. And we gave that a little bit also like to the Thai people. I mean, like we looked at, we help here and there. But I mean, Felix and me, we focus now really more on Dash Next because we think that's way more scalable. As Felix said, so many people talk about, oh, Dash has like thousands of merchants here and there, but actually like we have integrations with, let's say, Excel Trip. It's because it just come to my head. It's like a travel platform. You can book 100,000 of hotels and
800,000, I think.
800,000 and book flights and all that stuff. So that means we don't have 10,000 of merchants. We have now more than 1 million, I would say, probably around the globe. And that was just like one. I mean, and I'm not saying that's only we doing that, but like I just say that's the way to go, because you can get with one integration a lot more merchants than like just going from door to door.
That's an interesting point, because we've had other experiences with Dash Latam. Their focus was trying to go out and get as many merchants as possible. And oftentimes, you're right, that leads to a bad experience for the customer, because they're going to a place that they expect that is going to take Dash, but the people from Dash Latam might not have been there for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they forgot how to use it. You know, it's like, I think you're right. It's there's a debate going on of which way is better, but I can see your point of having a small, tight-knit group of people that actually use it, and then expanding out from there. So I think if you're going to do a local thing, maybe focus on one street or something, and say, okay, I want all these people to take Dash, and I want them all to know, and I'm going to support them. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure that they're going to be able to take Dash if the customer wants it. And then after that street is a hotbed of Dash, then you can expand from there. I think I'm on board with that approach, but better, like, for the customer experience. Yeah. But like you say, it's not scalable, but you can concentrate on that one region and then let it organically expand from there.
Yeah.
And again, one thing is the customer experience, and the other thing is really you have to, I mean, if you do that, you have to take also the perspective from the merchant. And if you look at the merchants, probably obviously in Venezuela it's a different situation, right? I don't know about it, so I cannot say much. But what for a fact in Thailand, the stuff is quite changing quite often. So you have to retrain them. And obviously, what is the incentive for a merchant to retrain their stuff if nobody ever showed up? And we don't only have that with Dash. We were talking with merchants, and they have it with the big payment solutions as well, with Line Pay or something like that, where they have it for 1 year and nobody ever came. So why should they keep on training the stuff? It doesn't make any sense for them.
Exactly.
It's just an extra cost.
I mean, we also want to try to keep the merchants happy, and like I think now. I think we grow also with our consumers. So more people know now that they can spend Dash in Thailand, and they're coming over. We have some Masternode visitors here. We have some digital nomads, some crypto travelers, and even if they didn't been before in the Dash network, so and used maybe other currencies, but they cannot spend it here, so they swap it or they buy into Dash because they know they can spend it here. And I mean, if you have one crypto, you have all actually. Like so you can change them on any crypto to crypto exchange or whatever. Yeah, and also what you said with one street. So I mean, we had that idea as well. I mean, it didn't work out 100% with like one street, but we have like different areas. Like one area in Bangkok is the Prakanong area. It's around one BTS station. And I think of that 50 to 100, we have, I would say like 20 to more than 20 around that BTS station. So, I mean, I also living in that area. And I mentioned it a couple of times in the last couple of days when we had calls with exchanges or whatever. So I personally had like last month 40 Dash transactions for my personal use. So I mean, like that's more than one per day. That's so you can say I can almost live on Dash. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think 40 is a lot for one person. And yeah,
you even do your grocery shopping, right?
Yeah, so we have now a little grocery store where I can buy my tomatoes and onions and like all that stuff. It's, I mean, like it's fantastic for me as well. Like, but yeah, a lot of people using it, I would say, especially in that area, because also when people text us and they say, "Oh, we're coming to Thailand," we suggest many times there are some guest houses here as well where they can stay and.
Yeah. And it's really about like also pulling off enough tricks to to get consumers there, right? Because still we're in a like kind of chicken and egg phase with all the crypto payments, and we don't have merchants, we don't have users. So one thing we, for example, changed is from doing like this PowerPoint presentation style meetups to say, hey, now we do meetups at the merchants, and we bring like 20 to 40 people or 50 people, whoever shows up, and we get some Dash transactions on there. So the merchant is happy, the crowd is happy, they get some nice food, they get some nice drinks. So this is how we really see a community growing.
Okay, Felix, before we get into Dash Next and your accomplishments there, I want to test your business development skills a little bit. So I'm a business owner, and I want to use WeChat, or I want to use Alipay, or I want to use Dash. Why should I use Dash?
You should not choose between the three. You should just choose all of them and use all the channels you have to do marketing. And what we offer always is say, hey, we open our marketing channels. We have a great Facebook group. We have a nice Telegram group. If you're a bigger merchant, we even can do like a global marketing. And this comes to probably also the co-working we established. I hope we can talk a little bit about that later, because this is a very, very important thing, I think, for Dash as a whole. And it's not only us doing great things, it's really like a combined effort of doing great things. So, this is exactly the way we go out. And in fact, I'm right now talking to one WeChat Alipay company and told him exactly this. Say, hey, why don't you use Dash as well? And you can have another, it's just another button. And if somebody comes, why not? It's essentially also from the process side of things, it's exactly the same. It's like the bookkeeping in the background will be the same. At the end of the day, you want Thai baht on the bank account, or you want fiat money on the bank account. If that's what you want, this is what we can provide.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I believe the BizDev people from Alipay, they will say the same. I mean, like I know, for example, that countries with a lot of Chinese tourists, like the merchants will get Alipay because they know, like the Chinese tourists, they want to pay with Alipay, so they get it to get more customer, right? And I mean, sure. I mean, like we have a different approach, like we three and like our community, especially the people which are a long time in the community. But I mean, to go really mainstream, we need other things to convince them. I mean, at the beginning when we go to the merchant, we had also like, oh, banks are bad and all that things. But I mean, if you go to someone who sell you a fried rice with chicken, like they don't care much. Like if you know what I mean, yeah.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
And so that's why you have to choose a more like commercial approach. And I mean, they know like that crypto is and will become even a bigger thing. And they know there's a community here. They know like if I want that customers, I need to offer crypto or Dash payments in our case. And I mean, we Felix mentioned our meetups already. Like we had just last Tuesday a meetup. And we met first at a bar where we had some drinks. Then we go later on to a restaurant, had some food, and we brought the whole crowd. And we do that now on a monthly basis. Before we did it on a weekly basis. But as we are so busy now, with all the Dash Next integrations and stuff, it got a little bit too much. But I mean, like we still want to keep it alive, and we call it now Dash Bash merchant hopping. So it's really like a kind of a bar hopping, but we go from Dash merchant to Dash merchant, and it's like it's entertaining. Like it's like the local community like it. The people from abroad which visiting here, when they see it, they join in, and it's really great. It's a good experience, and you have to offer all that things like experience and a value for the merchants and for the consumers. And I mean, there are many other things like. To get consumers, we talk to the merchants. Felix said it already, so they can post in our group, and they do it. If you see our Dash Thailand group on Facebook, like really our merchant using that group and post their offers. Like we have like one shop like just posted a couple of days like 20% discount on Dash payments. Another one has like 10% constantly paying with Dash, like because okay, I get additional customer, and I mean. Usually they use a happy hour or something like that. Why not use discounts on crypto payments?
Or they use these apps. This is even more important, because also if you look at the competition, like you have like this food delivery app, they charge the merchant 30%. We have this app called Eatigo here, where you can reserve a table to get customers on to get your restaurant full, and they give up to 50% discounts, right? So if you say, hey, give a 10% discount to get customers, it's even cheaper for them than using one of the classical solutions.
I really like that idea that you guys have of like a day where all the it's kind of like a pub crawl. You go to all these places and accept Dash. I really like that idea. It's really cool. You should do that like once a week or once a year. Like that'd be something like an event that dashers around the world can come into. That'd be really cool.
Oh yeah,
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I mean, like we had even like another idea. So we were spinning that idea for long, and we've been already very close to publishing it. But like, it's like time is always a problem. We all know that. So it's another thing that we wanted to do some Dash guiding, like if people coming here, so we show them around in Bangkok, and but go mainly to places where you can also spend Dash. I mean, like you show them a little bit around, like. And then having the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, and maybe the after party or whatever, like at Dash Merchants, like kind of like crypto to push the crypto tourism. Like, I mean, there's so many offers we can spin around. I mean, so we're also using the Dash Thailand ecosystem to really like try things out on the different verticals. You have to be creative, right? And same on Dash Next, sure, on a more BizDev level, we really try to partner with many other companies on different verticals, because I mean it's a blue ocean of opportunities, as I said at the beginning. So, and the more we go out, the more people will know about it. And I mean, now Dash is what it is, but we don't know what it is like maybe in 1 year, 2 year. So we can do even more around it. Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this conversation. You guys have a lot of good ideas. You're very intelligent. I want to go into a little bit about what Dash Next has accomplished, their integrations. I guess I'll go to Felix. He can give us a rundown of all the businesses that you've been able to integrate Dash into.
Happy to do that. I mean, it's again what Sascha said. It's really a blue ocean of new opportunities, because our approach is to say, hey, we do payment, and payment is everywhere. So in every industry is some payment. So it's in every vertical. So for us, it's really a question of what verticals should you target first. And on the other hand, it's kind of, it mixes up with local regulations. So in Korea, it will be a different story to do, especially the fiat processing in the back end. Then Japan is a big struggle, and we're with Core on getting some conversations going on there. So all markets are a little bit different, and all verticals are a little bit different. Also, if you look at like how the payment processes work in the back end, the tech stack obviously is a bit different, right? So like a food truck will be something completely different from a travel platform, probably from an online shop, or from I don't know, a logistics company or a big corporation handling their payments internally, right? So you have to figure out the use cases, and again, it's about really providing solutions, because if you go out and say, hey, I have the solution, it's very good. That's why we said, hey, tourism was always our focus, so let's go for travel platforms. In order to do that, you have to bring many pieces in place. So what we realized, I mentioned now fiat payment, but in order to do fiat payments, obviously you need either payment companies, you need exchanges with local fiat currency trading pairs, you need payment processors. All that has to be in place that you are able to provide an end-to-end solution, right? So this is where we go out and try to really attack on all levels. And again, the most of our sales funnel or integration funnel right now comes from the conferences. And I mean, the beauty with crypto conferences that it's very network driven. So people, you have a nice gala dinner. I mean, everybody knows how a crypto event works. So everybody's super happy. It's latest after 10 p.m., but probably like hyped all day already. So this is where good business is starting. And this is why we say, now we just onboarded Exeltrip and Hotelier Mart. So now that adds up to Travala and the other ones, Cheap Air, what we have already route. I think now we are around 4.5 million hotels, 600 airlines, shared apartments coming up. And now that you have this use case, just as an example, and say, hey, I go to the next travel company and say, look at this, like we onboarded them. It didn't cost anything or not much for an integration. We can offer all our partner network to do whatever you need for fiat settlement in your country in a legal way. It's kind of a more easy sales pitch. So that's why we attack many verticals. And I think we had a quite very, very good success story on exchanges, on payment companies, on tourism companies. And one very, very important thing for me to mention is that we started in Dash the so-called co-working, where most of the teams around the world come onto a weekly call, and this is also, I mean, look at corporations, right? It's like a very 101 corporate structure, like having team meetings. In Germany, you say, do you still meet or you already work? But I mean, in Dash, it's like it's a hydra with many heads. And sometimes this is good, but sometimes it also leads to very stupid situation where, for example, when we talk to exchanges, they tell us, but what the hell? So we told you already that we don't want it 2 weeks ago. And you're like, oh, I don't know who said that to you or who reached out to you, right? So this is why now we streamline our priorities in the weekly call. We streamline who is approaching what, who's taking the lead on what. And obviously this is a combination of where you are and what personal contacts you have. So this is why we said now in this, like in this meeting, we are very much focused on gaming, gambling, on tourism. And you know, it's again like how to solve the chicken and egg. We always want to have more merchants, and then we want to do cool stuff with the merchants to drive customers in.
What would you say would have been your biggest integrations as of yet?
The biggest integrations have been a lot of the top 30 exchanges, for example, Bitmark being one of them. We are very happy with the travel platform, but this is still in the beta test, and I'm a bit sad that it's still not there, is the BLUCON partnership in Korea, where we do 3 things. Number 1, we're going to launch a crypto debit card, Master and Visa. Number 2, local public transport card for all of Korea. And it also integrates into 10 million shops because they have a cooperation with Lotte, one of the biggest corporations in Korea. And number 3, it's an international public transport card, where we now go around and integrate the whole public transport system of countries. So I hope we can get the conversation going for Thailand, Hong Kong, Singapore, Korea. So this is something in the progress. And the very nice thing, and this is where I'm very happy, because this is really, I mean, I'm also all user-centric and user-focused. So for a user, this is really a non-brainer, because you have this card and you spend in real time the Dash balance you have on your exchange account. Again, right now it's on beta test with DigiFinex, but I was going out and showed this, like I always have it with me now when I go to conferences. And I can tell you, it's a bit like opium for exchanges. If they see it and they know the competition is friggin' hard with exchanges at the moment, everybody's getting like dollar signs in their eyes and say, hey, this is super cool. So this is, I mean, as a business model, this works if you have an exchange with more than 1.5 million users. So this is where we attack now. And I hope the beta test is, I expect it to be over very, very fast within the next week. So the card will be live and going on. And the way it works is you, again, spend the Dash balance in real time. For the crypto debit card and for the public transport cards, you have to top up. That means you say, I want to have $100, and this is the conversion rate at the moment to top it up in $100 in Korean won, for example.
Okay. So Sascha, what are some things that you guys are working on right now? Can you give us any spoilers or anything that nobody knows already?
No hopium.
No hopium. I mean, yeah, Felix mentioned the exchanges. We've been like very focused in the last couple of months of exchanges. So we're going a little bit away from the exchanges. So because actually we think like Dash is on a lot of at least crypto to crypto exchanges. So going a little bit away from crypto to crypto exchanges only. We're still looking that we get more Dash fiat trading pairs like in certain countries. So we're focusing on that. But we're going now more like to payment processors, POS systems. That's more the things we want to focus on at the moment. And yeah, I mean, we said it already before. It's like some of the stuff we started already. It takes really a while. Like especially the BLUCON one, we are all super excited because like people really like that practical things. Yeah. We said before, like I remember the eyes like of people who come to Thailand and spend first time their crypto. Like it's an exciting thing to do. Like you take your phone, you scan the QR code, you do a payment. And same is now the experience when we go around with the Dash branded card, show it to exchanges. Yeah, I mean there's really a lot of potential behind. So and yeah, that's what we're focusing on at the moment. So
I want to give one spoiler, which is a bit like out of the order of what we do. I was just talking to some guy. They do like a pregnancy app where you track when you get pregnant, you track the status of your baby, and in the background is obviously a perfect advertisement vehicle. So you love your product, obviously, right? So this is where we mentioned that in the BizDev call, and like I mentioned that, and everyone was like, "Hey, but what do we have to do with moms, right?" And 2 minutes later, everybody was like, "Clicked," and everyone was like, "Damn, that's a nice target group to have. Like, we should focus definitely more on moms." So
Oh,
I'm not sure
absolutely.
when this is going to happen, but we will keep you updated when we really have news on that.
Isn't that the problem though? Like this space is very male dominated. Like it's hard for us to think about how women think, and I'm hoping that the show that I'm doing with Amanda, Tao and Amanda Live, is going to help to bring in more females to cryptocurrency, because it's a huge demographic. We're missing half of the population, so you know, like it's definitely something we have to. What's that?
More females into crypto. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, as I'm aware of, it's just Steam where the majority of users are women. That's what I read a long time ago. I never checked if that's really true, but you know, it's not that women are not out there, right? I mean, I believe again, it's about user-centric solutions and doing something with it. So why not? If you get a discounted diapers with your Dash, that's a nice value proposition to have.
Yeah, I actually really like the concept of Steam, because I'm not sure if there's a better way to execute it, but I really like the concept of people can earn cryptocurrency by promoting content, right? I think that's good. That's one of the things that is a problem with cryptocurrency, is getting it out there, like having people have it in their hands. Like, how do they earn it? How do they make it? And that's one thing that a use case that you could. Another one is gaming, right? Like you guys are saying, like video games, having it as a currency in video games would be awesome. Yeah, it's just it's really worth brainstorming those ideas, because first you can have customer adoption, you can have merchant adoption, but if you don't have liquidity, you need to have all three, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's something that us as a community, if we can figure it out how to get Dash out there into people's hands, it's just going to benefit us more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit with Felix about the award you guys won. What was up with that?
Yeah, very happy to do that. I mean, I was first of all super happy to be invited to Malta. So Eman, the CEO of Sigma, reached out to me and said, "Hey, many people recommended you as a speaker, so you definitely should come to Malta." And like we always kind of try to arrange like a cool win-win partnership where we tell the conferences, "Hey, we are super happy to promote your conference in the network, and like we even can connect you to our crypto payment solution, so you're able to sell tickets in Dash." That sometimes work, depends on the other party how busy they are. So I was flying there, and they told me, "Hey, we have this contest, DAO Building of the Year. You should definitely apply, because obviously you are a DAO." So I was super happy that at the gala dinner there were 3 finalists: MakerDAO, DAO Casino, and us. And the judges chose us for good reasons, and it's worth mentioning, because that message was, I think, not really clear. It was not Dash Next winning the contest; it was Dash winning the contest. And I'm, as a representative from Dash Next, took the award for all of you guys.
Okay.
So now it's here, and everybody can come visit and do a celebration on it.
So explain to me, like, what was the criteria that the judges were choosing, and what makes the best DAO?
That's a good question. I didn't get much information on what's exactly the criteria, why the others lost or why we won. What I understood from them, what they mentioned was user adoption, and that was the point I was pointing out. That really, like, we had so much this year we accomplished in terms of merchant adoption and doing something else than trading with cryptocurrencies and speculating. And I think that was, at the end of the day, what convinced them.
All right, so let's talk about the DAO for a second. Both of you guys have good familiarity with the DAO, and as you know, nothing's perfect. We can always improve. Do you guys have any thoughts of how the DAO could be improved in the future?
I mean, you know, we come from a corporate background, right? So I mean, to be honest, it's not. I mean, corporate bashing, yes, and I'm more than happy to not work in any corporations anymore and to work in flat hierarchies where everybody has like the same status and nobody is on top of each other and therefore has more decision-making power. So this is beautiful, right? On the other hand, I mean, they're efficient also because they can streamline a lot of stuff, right? So this is why I mentioned the co-working. For me, that was a very, it's a super simple thing to do, but it's something that has to be done, right? And the moment we did it, now I think we can progress Dash in a whole much better, right? So sometimes, I mean, obviously it's kind of difficult to take the big picture when you when you have your specific niche you think about, or your interests are in something and something else not. So I mean, it is what it is, right? And what I'm seeing right now, and this makes me very happy, that many other projects approaching us now and say, hey, like, we see you guys really accomplish some stuff in the way you do it, and with that interesting funding model in the DAO. So this is very nice that that other projects obviously want to have our input on how they can structure things, right? So, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there is a limited budget for everybody, and there's just too many good teams doing good work. So it's also kind of hard to choose, right? That's why, I mean, it's about, also we have to say, you know, a lot of our time is also going for the internal communication and showing people that we are there and that we accomplish something. But I mean, if you break it down to working hours, of course, it takes time from other stuff you cannot do in that time, right? There is only 24 hours a day.
You have any thoughts to add to that, Sascha?
Yeah, and I think that the DAO is actually already improving in my eyes. Yeah, I mean, we are not so long in the DAO, but Felix mentioned the co-working, and I think that's a really great thing. And I'm not even aware if many people or masternodes or like if the community really know like what is the Dash co-working. So it's actually that like the internal teams, all proposal owners, yeah, can meet on a weekly call and can exchange ideas, contacts, can help each other. And I heard like in the past, it was not like that not all proposal owners really talk to each other. Yeah? So, and I think that's a thing. So we can combine the things of both worlds, right? Like the decentralized and the centralized world. I think it's very good that every proposal owner can do their own thing. I mean, sure, they have to face the votings, yeah. But if they bring results and the community like it, they get voted again. But also like streamline all the efforts, because yeah, as Felix said, that there are many things where probably no one thought at the beginning that if you have like a decentralized organization that like maybe 2-3 teams at the same time reach out to someone. And I mean, the DAO structure is still new for many companies out there, and we have to explain many times to our partners why is it like this, why we have to do it like that, because we are DAO, yeah. So who is Dash, who is the CEO, things like that. I mean, like that's people are so used to that old school structures, so there's a lot of things to explain. But yeah, I mean, my main point is like the DAO is improving already, and I think the co-working, the internal communication is already a good start. And yeah.
Okay, well, this has been a fascinating conversation. I'm glad you guys have joined the show today. Before I let you go, I'll give you an opportunity to give any closing thoughts you might have. I'll start with Felix.
We have discussed so many things already, and again, you know, for me, it's about, especially on the business development side, like when I think back, like the what is it, like 14 months ago since we started and where we are now, I could have never imagined the many contacts we have, the many verticals we were able to open. So I mean, there we come back what we said before, like one crypto year is 1 or 2 dog years, like 10, like 7 or 14 years even. So I mean, we're moving so fast that I'm sure if we talk in 6 months, I will tell you a totally different thing, because we already are on so many other verticals or brought in place partners to do stuff we never imagined. One example, I was just talking today to a guy who is wholesaling wine from Italy and exporting it, right? So this is the first time I was like, yeah, finally somebody from the distributors wanted to talk to me and say, hey, like, let's think about crypto solutions. Because for now, you know, like if you have a restaurant, it's nice, but if you don't pay the staff in Dash, if you don't pay the people who provide you the alcohol, the food, it's like just a limited use case, right? So in order to get everything done, you have to go step by step. And you know, this is, I hope in 6 months I can tell you, hey, wow, like we already onboarded like 20 wholesalers. So.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'll definitely have you on the show again. It's been a great conversation. So how about you, Sascha? Do you have anything to say in closing?
I think there's not much to say anymore, but I mean, yeah, I think we have a lot of things to talk when we see each other next time, because everything is really moving so fast, and like, yeah, it's really fascinating, and it's a good time and a good space to be in. And
all right. All right, thanks for being on the show. I'm sure the people that are watching have got a few ideas from this and seeing what exactly you guys are doing in Dash Thailand and Dash Next. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
inviting
much for having us.
Yeah.
Take care.
Great conversation.
Okay. Bye,
Bye for
guys.
now.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for me today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell if you want to see more from me in Cash Alternative TV episodes. Until next time, remember, Dash is a better money for a better future, and that future is getting closer every day. Bye for now.